Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete because guess what? I have that slick shifting manual transmission light rear-wheel drive sports car right here next to me. This is it. This is a Toyota GR86. This particular one is a premium trim. But before we get into this black on black with the manual sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. Toyota. They're really doing some big things with their lineup, and specifically their Gazoo Racing performance brand. Gazoo Racing, also known as GR, because this is a GR86, is well known over in Europe because Gazoo Racing handles their WEC, their World Endurance Championship performance cars, also their WRC cars, the World Rally Championship Yaris examples that they've won championships with throughout the whole European area. Now, here in the United States, it's taken a little bit of time, but they have really identified their sports car performance with GR. Now, it used to be when this was a Scion FRS or even when it was just a Toyota G86, they would use the letters TRD, Toyota Racing Development, for their performance upgrades. But now what they did was they separate TRD for trucks and SUVs that are off-road performance, and the GR name is here, of course, on the 86, the Supra, and of course the mighty GR Corolla. Now, in today's market, you can have some small, compact performance, but it comes in different ways. This car being rear-wheel drive, not a lot of horsepower, is of course all about the miles per miles. There are some competitors that are close in price, but the power goes to a different set of wheels. It actually goes to the front wheels. That would be the Elantra N and the Honda Civic Type R. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this GR86 Premium and see, should you be having your sports car fun, your performance car fun with the rear wheels or with the front wheels? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the shape. They really nailed this second generation because remember, like I said, FRS first came out in 2013. It was badged as a Scion here in the United States because that was a weird science experiment that Toyota did. It was like a youthful brand. They should have just called it a Toyota Celica. That would have been a hit, especially with this guy right here, because I used to love the Celica growing up. And of course, that connection to the AE86 going back in the 1980s. But with this second generation, they got the shape down right. I was never a big fan of the Scion FRS until they did a refresh. Still, it looked a little bit of a catfish style to it. I was always more into the Subaru BRZs, and that's why Lori wound up having a 2016 Subaru BRZ. So we know all about this light sports car rear-wheel drive fun. Now, at the front of the business, you're gonna see they did a phenomenal job on the headlight housing. Not only the shape, but what's also inside of it. Full LED headlights, turn signals, and daytime running lamps. You have aggressive corner air curtains that are fully functional and gives it a nice look and style. And then of course, coming in front of the nose, that low slung nose, flat black functionality. And this is where, like I said, I really think they got the shape right on this second generation GR86. Crazy to think that there's only been 2 generations so far. This one and the previous one that goes back to 2013. Nice, long front splitter that's built into the front fascia. And then of course you got that Toyota badge smacking you right up front. Now, as we rise up onto that hood, one of the ways that this hood is so low is because we have a flat 4 engine under the hood. If you look at an Elantra N, if you look at a Civic Type R, those have inline 4s. So that's why those vehicles, the hoods are much higher because the engine sits up higher in the chassis. But definitely has these beautiful curves that go all the way into the fenders, and it gives you a great visual reference point. This is like, some people call this the poor man's Cayman. So the Porsche Cayman, a mid-engine car, this having that flat engine like a Cayman, it's up front, but the price difference is definitely clearly there. Now, as we come around the corner, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? We have these new wheels that came about in 2022. Love the way it's got that almost like a knife blade appearance, multi-spoke design. And for the first time with this 18-inch wheel, we have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, a real performance tire. Believe it or not, on the previous gen, they put Michelin Primacy tires. Those are tires that go on a Toyota Prius, not a Toyota sports car. But I love the gunmetal gray finish. It's actually gunmetal gray. It's not flat black. You got good size on the rotors, and that's the thing about this car. You got lightweight, so it's not like we have to have 16-inch carbon ceramic rotors. For this generation, they reworked the whole chassis, the suspension, and all the inner bits. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this tire up front? 215 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and don't forget, we got the power going to the rear wheels, unlike the Elantra N or the Type R, where the power goes to the front wheels. Now, as we come down the side, the shape of this car is second to none. I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and show you that functional side fender vent. Nothing fake at the front of the business or the side. You have color match mirror caps, no sunroof, none of that garbage. And the only way really to get a sunroof on an Elantra N is you have to go with the automatic. If you go manual, like this car is, you don't get a sunroof option. There isn't a sunroof available on a Type R either. So that kind of makes sense. But you'll notice that great hood line, and then I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing back around because the side sill extends out very sharply, and I love the way it's all kind of blended in together. It's not like they just stuck something on. You have this nice flared out rear fender. When you're washing this car, I promise you're gonna wanna wipe your hands all over this beautiful rear end. And then working our way down, you got you got your same wheel and tire setup, 215 on the width. I would like to see just a little bit wider tire, maybe a 225, a 230, just to have a little bit more rubber to meet the road. But we do have a limited slip diff, just like on the other two. You got limited slip diffs up front, we got a limited slip diff out rear, and you can have this 6-speed automatic or like our car, which is a 6-speed manual. Now, as we come around, I think one of my favorite parts on the premium is you get that duckbill spoiler, kicks up on the rear trunk, all one piece, very, very sexy and sleek. Full LED lighting on the taillights. And then because this car is all black, you don't even notice the gloss black trim that comes across the center here. If this was white or red or silver, this is gloss black, but I like the way it blends in. We got our GR86 badge. Looking great. I kind of missed the previous badge where they had the 2 pistons as part of the badge, those boxer pistons going side to side. They took that off because now it's known as the GR86, and this one has a custom catback exhaust. Love the nice large opening / cut with that rear diffuser. Wait until you hear us fire this thing up. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk performance on this GR86. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm okay with that, especially when you hear how much this vehicle weighs. Underneath the hood, you'll notice just how low that engine is, and there's not a bunch of plastic covers all over the place. You have that flat 4 boxer motor, obviously connected with Subaru and Toyota. There's the throttle body, alternator, AC compressor, your oil filter. Here's your air intake, that intake plenum, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we have 4 cylinders, and because it's a flat 4, it is so low in the chassis to lower that center of gravity. We even have the bracing tying in the firewall with the strut top mounts to stiffen things up. But what do we got? We got a 2.4 liter inline 4 producing 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. This one has the 6-speed manual. If you know how to do the dance on your twinkle toes, 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds, quarter mile in 14 seconds. The car weighs 2,838 pounds. That is much lighter than an Elantra N or a Civic Type R. Top speed is right around 140 miles per hour. MPGs, 20 in the city, 27 on the highway. So yes, I know the big argument has been that this car doesn't have enough horsepower, but it's all about the driving experience, which I can't wait to have you riding shotgun with me. Steven's gonna ride in the back seat. You're gonna ride shotgun with me. But before we get to that point, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this freaking GR86 with that catback exhaust and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Toyota GR86. The nice thing is they didn't make any changes between 2022 and 2023 because 2022 was the year of the redesign. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm really digging the style of this car. I love the black on black. That's just like me. I'm also thinking about Elantra N. I've never owned a Hyundai. A lot of people make fun of me because I want a Hyundai, but I also like this car. How much is it? So MSRP is right around $32,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I love the style. The Alcantara material. Look at the armrest. Leather with the white contrast stitching. You get a nice large cup holder to where you could put your Yeti can in there or a Super Slurpee. And then going from the door panel to the dash, it's clean. Soft material. I'm not a big fan on how this extends out, but I do understand that it has to actually have some volume inside the glove compartment. Sliding on in, you got your all new 8-inch infotainment system. And I like the way they integrated the AC vents. You got your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, all your different maintenance things you could click on, let you know when to do your next oil change, all the different apps. Roadside assistance, throw it into reverse. There's your backup camera. It is on the grainy side, but you do have trajectory. Guess what? The Elantra N and the Type R's backup cameras are not much better, so nothing to write home about there. Love the way you got the GR start-stop button, nice little extra touch, dual climate control, and I'm really digging these knobs. They have a nice feel, and I like the style of the red LED. I need to change this though. That needs to change. So we hit mode, so it's just blowing on my face. You got your toggle switches. This is where the magic happens. Remember how when you were a kid and you were making out with your girlfriend and your parents would walk in and you'd say, knock, I'm trying to make the magic happen? This is where you make the magic happen in here. Nice short throw, 6-speed manual, crisp engagement. They really reworked it over the previous gen, and just the look of it with the gear pattern just looks really clean. You got your mechanical e-brake with the stitching, just like the door panels, track mode, and shut the traction control off. We're gonna be doing that. And then you have your 2 stages of heated seats. Finally, an armrest. Once upon a time, you did not get an armrest in an 86 or a BRZ. Open the doors, 2 cup holders, USB-A, aux jack, actually 2 USB-A's, so they got you covered for you and a friend. You might be able to fit 1 Twinkie in there. That's the one thing, is there's not a lot of Twinkie storage in here. You're gonna have to go glove box. And then you close it up like this. Seats are my favorite. The Alcantara, the leather, really nice bolstering, nothing too crazy. Manual seat controls for the passenger and for the driver. And then of course you're gonna have that ability to move the seat, and you have rear seats. Now, the biggest thing you'll be able to fit back there is a box of Twinkies or a stuffed teddy bear, but it is nice in case you have that one friend that just does not care if he's squished and he wants to go with you to the track day. You could get him back there, but you might have to get him some medical attention to get him out. What's next? You need to come over to the business side. I got a beautiful steering wheel I want to show you with the GR logo on it. Come on over. Guys, come on in to this rear-wheel drive sports car. Little simple aluminum sill plate. The pedal box is where it's at, and those are Subaru pedals, and Subaru nails them on this car. Perfect for heel, toe, downshifting. Love the aluminum all the way across and on the dead pedal. We're in cars that cost 3 times as much as this that don't give you a nice looking dead pedal like that one. Manual seat controls are easy to figure out. And to be honest with you, you don't need a 23 position seat to figure out how to get it set to your body. Love the headroom in here, because if you're doing your track day, you're gonna have to wear a helmet. Still got plenty of room. I'm 6 feet tall and I could get the helmet on. And then the steering wheel. Nice small size, something like you would find in a Porsche Cayman. The GR badge, the nice stitching all the way around. Simplicity on the buttons. You do have its manual and tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then you have your digital gauge display. I love the way that you have the tachometer there in the center, but then watch when I go into track mode. Bam! Now you got the tach smack dab in the center like that, and you have a good large gear indicator and a lap timer. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not getting in the back seat. You get in the back seat. I'm not getting in the back seat. we're gonna hit up the trunk because I can't wait to hit some twisty bits in this GR86. All right guys, the crazy thing about this car, even though it's on the smaller side, even though it's very light, it does have some pretty good usable trunk space. Obviously nowhere near an Elantra N and definitely far from a Type R, but Subaru and Toyota wanted to make sure that you could get your track day goodies in here. So with the seats up, you got 6 cubic feet of space. Fold that rear seat down, it's one solid fold. That's then gonna allow you to maximize your space to where you could actually get 4 wheels with track day tires in here, a jack and some jack stands, so you could actually swap out wheels at the track, have your fun, and then put your more road going tire back on with your stock wheels and go that route. It's up to you, but it's nice to have that flexibility. I don't know about you though. If you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna go on throttle in this GR86. All right guys, we're inside this Toyota GR86. Love the way the inside is organized. It feels good. The seats feel phenomenal. It feels like what a sports car used to be all about. That small size, light, not a lot of horsepower, but a ton of fun. The dash, so cool the way they designed it to look like the Boxer engine as well, with the pistons going side by side. Putting it into track mode, you have your unique tack, but we need to go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, yeah! A chirping tire's a happy tire. Love the way that they got rid of the torque dip from the previous generation. And with this exhaust, it sounds glorious. Heel-toe downshifting in this car is a thing of beauty. I mean, it's just, the pedals are perfectly placed. Yes, you gotta really get it up in the revs to get that power to keep building, but that's what it is. This is a momentum car, and it's a car that allows you to really develop the skill, the art, the craft of driving, because this is the type of car where you don't have a ton of horsepower to make up for your mistakes. If you're on a twisty road, if you're at an autocross, or you're doing a track day, you don't want to miss any apexes or anything like this in this car, because once you kill your momentum, it's over. This really teaches you the art of driving, and I love that about it. The controls are easy to get to. The dash is so easy to read, and the visibility is phenomenal. I don't know how they're able to take such a small windshield and pull the A-pillars so far apart to where you have perfect visibility out the front, especially with the way that the fenders, you can see the peaks of them to give you those great visual reference points to hit your mark. The transmission, smooth. The clutch, not too heavy. I actually like it a little bit more than my Type R. It's got a little bit more weight to it, and the placement of it is phenomenal. Let me drop it down to 4th. On throttle, here we go. Going around the trash in the road. On the brakes. You're gonna nail that heel-toe downshifting every time in this thing. Look at that. The way the rear end rotates to help you exit out of the turn. On the brakes. Nice. Steering is so direct. I feel like a brain surgeon right now, and I have that scalpel, and I have to remove the tumor out of my patient's brain, and if I just go too far left, too far right, they're gone. That's what this car is all about. It's so precise. Your movements, I feel like my brain is hooked up to the front axles because I can tell exactly how much grip I have. I love the way the rear end rotated a little bit to help me square off the corner. And that is what this car is about. It allows you to feel comfortable with the car moving around a little bit. That's okay. You don't necessarily want a car to be totally stuck to the track. You want a little bit of movement to help you carry that speed, carry that momentum. First gear, on throttle. That sound. The gearbox is just magical. And the cool part is, yeah, we're going quick, but because we're so close to the ground and the way the engine sounds, I feel like we're going even faster, which is kind of nice to not have to always do triple digits to feel like you're going fast. Brakes are perfectly balanced. Pulling out here, here we go. You ready? On throttle. Round the trash. On those brakes. Nice. But like I said, it just allows you to be so precise and to have those smiles per miles. Yes, you're not going to win a drag race against a Hellcat, Red Eye, Jailbreak, Super Stock Demon, whatever the flavor of the day is for that particular car. You're not going to beat those. But what you're going to do is you're going to be able to develop the skills to really separate you from everybody else that's just fast in a straight line. All right, guys, one more time for me, definitely one more time for you. Loving this freaking GR86. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Woo! It's like a little race car, I love it. On those brakes. Heel towing is such a pleasure in this thing. It's great. So balanced. And then you know what? It really isn't that bad of a car to daily drive. You got some usable trunk space. You could go to the grocery store. It gets decent MPGs. And you get to enjoy shifting a manual. Now, if you don't want to do a manual, you could do an automatic. But this is one of the cars that still remains where the manual is actually faster than the automatic. I know almost in every other car it's the opposite nowadays, but that's how it used to be back when I was in high school. You didn't want a slush box. You didn't want an automatic because every manual was faster than the automatic. This, though, is bringing it old school. Manual, if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then obviously you're going to get your butt handed to you by an automatic. But if you know what you're doing, this is actually faster than the automatic. But I hope that this has been a nice overall review of this particular GR86. We're going to get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg and get Steven at the back of the seat in here because he's been crunched up in the back. You've been riding shotgun with me. He's all squished in the back. We're going to get him out, get him an IV with some fluids. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another fun day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely got to thank Miro and the rest of the crew getting us access to this GR86. What'd you think? Rowing through that 6-speed manual, having that nice, light, nimble feel and fun with this vehicle. I don't know about you, but it definitely is one heck of a unique experience. But is it enough to persuade you not to get a Type R or a Elantra N? Think about pricing. Let me know which way you're going to go down that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography. He's doing the work out here. He's sweating all over the place, but it's okay. And he rode in the back seat of this GR86, which I know he loved that experience. So show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for taking one for the team. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.